Hello everybody, Gail here, Shabby Cottage Studio. Thank you for stopping by for a visit. I hope you all are doing well today. And I just want to say that I'm truly grateful for you joining me here. I'm also grateful for the likes and the kind comments that you guys leave me. And for subscribing. I've picked up quite a few new subscribers here lately, so I want to give a special shout out to you and say welcome, welcome. I'm glad that you found something within my channel worth subscribing to. That means a lot. It means a lot to me. And the likes and the subscribes and the comments, of course, do mean a lot to YouTube and its algorithm. That's what helps us get seen. So, you know, if you can do one or all of the above, you have my eternal love. So let's get to this flip through. This small journal is 4.5 inches, approximately 4.5 inches by 6 3/4 inches. It is a single signature. It has a 3-hole pamphlet stitch binding it. It has a 1-inch spine, and it's approximately 80 pages. This is what I refer to as my almost naked journal, and I had someone recently ask me about that. They said they thought that a naked journal meant that it was blank inside, and yes, basically that's what it means, but I call mine almost naked because I can't stop myself from doing at least some decorating. So I do add some pockets and lots of tags and journal cards, tucks, you know, that kind of thing, but I don't overdo it on adding the pockets and tucks and or flips. I want to leave room for you guys to use your creativity in decorating your journal, whoever gets this journal, and I want to leave room for however much writing someone might want to put in the journal. I am word tripping today, so excuse me. So that's just a real, my kind of simple explanation of when I say almost naked journal. This journal was made with a vintage hardbound book, and it was structurally sound, so I didn't do anything to the cover except to cover it with fabric and laces. I've added this little shrug. I added one to my last journal, and I enjoyed it so much I added another one to this journal. So let's get to the flip through, and let me just show you some side views and the bottom while I still have the shrug on. I'm not sure what this was used for. It has a little pocket, so I guess there was something that was put inside. Maybe it was, I don't know, maybe it was a tiny little pillow. I'm not sure, but it does have some crochet on the edges, and it is a vintage piece. I did machine stitch some sari silk to the inside for the closure. So that is what I made the shrug from. I'll set that aside. And then this is the outside of the journal. I have added a kind of a linen-like fabric. I don't know. There we go. A linen-like fabric underneath, and then I put some of this fabric. It's a sheer fabric that's been embroidered, probably machine embroidered, on top of that. And then I added a vintage portion of a hanky, and then a vintage portion of a doily on top. And I hand stitched some of the pink seam binding around. If I open this up, you can see it goes around to the back, and that same fabric is over the spine. And then on the back I have added the same. This is the other side of the hanky, and here you can see better this. It's not linen, it's kind of a linen-like fabric. and I added a piece of lace. This is not vintage lace, it's new lace. And I also added some little netting rosettes. So that's the back, and the spine, and the front, and then just a little side view there. I've got some laces on the edges. You'll see those as I go through. This journal, I started out, my idea was to create a neutral journal. I think I've said a couple times in recent journals how much I'm really into like black and white illustrations and sepia and just neutrally colored images these days. And so I was going with that on this journal, and then I caught Heather from Ruby and Pearl, I think it was her last video, where she did a small little quote book, and she used a lot of neutrals and pink, and I thought, that's what I want to do. I want to add some pink to my neutrals, and so that's what I did. So when you open this up, there is a pocket on the inside front cover, and that is just some pink. It's a silky little fabric that I have. I have no clue where I got it, how old it is, or even what the fabric is. It's just something I've had. I liked it. It was pink. I added it. And then I put some vintage lace on top of that. And then I just kind of clustered some vintage sari silk right up here in the corner. And then this may be from, I'm not sure where I got this. I know that this was a book page that I printed on, so the image may be Ruby and Pearl, but don't quote me on that. I will, as usual, I will put the designers that I used in the description box below. If you've been with me any amount of time, you know that I use varying designers. There are so many I love, and I have only so much time to create journals, so I just want to use the images that I love. And somebody asked me why I don't do journals with just my images, and that's my reason. So sometimes I add my images, and sometimes you might see, I think I've done 1 or 2 journals, which it was just with my kids, but I spread the love. I love to spread the love. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I have added a lot of authentic ephemera in this journal, and just in this pocket, this journal is mostly neutral and pink, like I said, but I did add maybe a touch here or there. Here's some blue. This is just a faux letter that was folded up. Whoops. With the address for an envelope. And then this is just a piece of rag antique French book page. I did add this little guest check. It's got a little blue on it that I aged, and I just added this small playing card. This is a Ruby and Pearl, her botanicals kit. On this page, I've added 2 layers of lace. I've done some vintage crochet on the edge, and then a little bit of a thinner lace on top of that. Here I've added a brown paper bag, and I've tucked 2 tags within, and the tags are from Heather at Ruby and Pearl. I think I used a lot of her tags. And as usual, the backs of these tags are ready for any kind of writing, or if you want to collage them, whatever you would like to do with them. So those are tucked right in here. And as usual, all of my tags are removable. So you can take them out and replace them with your own. If you don't like them, move them around, put them where you want. This is the back of a vintage telegram. And then there is 1/2 of the front of the telegram. I'm not sure the date on this. It might be on the other page. My first guess, I think, was 1940s, but I'm not 100% sure. And then just another piece of ephemera, and I think this is 50s or 60s. Here is some sheet music. I folded it up to make a pocket, but I did not close the end, so the new owner can do that or not, whatever they like. And then I've added some vintage book page that I embossed some roses on. This is one of my tags. And then I've just added this blank tag, and I've just scrunched up a little bit of pink sari silk on the edge. Excuse me while I take a sip of water. I've done a little tuck. This again is some antique French book page, a blank tag, and then this is just a faux envelope, and I did not do anything but fold it in half, so there's some writing space in there if someone prefers. And then just some brown, like brown deli paper, or it's heavier than tissue paper. It's just like a brown craft deli paper, we're going to call it. And then this is another authentic vintage. Oh, I can't read that date. I have no clue. I have no clue. I'm not even going to try. It's French. It's some kind of invoice. There's the back of it. I've added a little washi tape there for strength. On this page, I just clipped in this journal card. Is that not adorable? I love that image. And I've added a little piece of fabric here and just a little piece of paper there and aged the back. This is the page that I've clipped it to. Let's see if I can get there. Cut that on without too much of a struggle. Turn the page. This is the other half of that French book page. And then on this side, I've added a little pocket. And then just two little journaling cards, or you could make them into tags. Whoops, this one, excuse me, I backed that onto a little envelope I had. A faux envelope that I had. I'm just going to flip through these pages. This is just some antique magazine page from the 1800s. This is just some book page that I had. And on this side of that book page, I've added a couple pockets. This is a smaller pocket here and a taller pocket in the back. And in the taller pocket, I've added a glassine bag. And then I've added some of Heather's tags. And then these are just some images I've added for decorating, having fun with. And I put those in the front pocket. This is just some faux tape that I create. This is some Italian antique paper. I got that from Rachel and Roxy Creations, one of her paper packs. Here is some embossed cardstock. And then on the back, I created a tuck or pocket, and I used some vintage French book page that I embossed with some roses. And then this is a tag that I created, and this is a label from Shabby Dabby Doodah. I love these black labels that she does. And then the back has just got some craft paper on it. This is the other half of that French invoice. And this is the other half of that book page that I had. It's from some kind of botanical or flower book. And then I've added this pretty pink lace on the edge. And when you turn it over, there is another pocket. And in that pocket, I've added some more of Heather's tags. And then just a little journaling card. This is just some of my dyed pastel papers, grungy papers. This is some more antique French paper, book page, excuse me, that I've just folded over to create a little tuck. And then I clipped in this tag that I collaged. I used, I believe that's one of Heather's images, and some more antique French book page, some embossing, some polka dot netting, one of those little netting roses, and what else? Oh, a little piece of lace across here. And I just tucked some little brown wrapping paper underneath, and some crocheted, part of a crocheted doily on top. And on the back it's got some pink rose gold speckled paper. So where did I have that? Oh yeah, I had it right there. So I tucked that in with a rusty paper clip. Excuse me. Oh, that was kind of loud, sorry. I just added a strip of lace on the top of this book page. I've clipped in another tag. This is actually two tags. This is a pocket tag. This I was inspired by Heather at Rosehill Paper Cottage. I did mine just a little bit differently than she did hers. I just simplified it for myself. And in these two pockets, there are two pockets here. I tucked in some labels. There's another one. And a couple of die-cut butterflies. Come back here. And I also added a little label and a little lace. And then in the back pocket I created a collaged tag, and I believe that's another image from Heather at Ruby and Pearl. And again, I just did, that's a Sam Poole stamp, and so the back is ready for writing. So that goes in there. And then I also tucked in these labels. And I tucked the butterflies in front. Oops. There you go. And then there is a pocket right here. And I collaged another tag. I did some wonky circle stitching around the image. I just wanted to give it a little imperfection. This is, I believe, Sam Poole. Lady in White, I think, is the collection. And more vintage French page that I embossed. And Sam Poole, her stamp. This is from her first address stamp collection. And then just a little piece of seam binding, and the back is ready for writing. And like I said, that just tucks into a pocket right here. The inside has been lined with some 1800 paper from an encyclopedia. And then on this page I have added a fabric tag. This is the page that I clipped this to. Again, a rusty paper clip. I seal all my rusty additions, just, or at least at this point I do. Who knows what I'll do in the future, but just to keep them kind of from getting the rust all over. This is the center of the signature. Love this, just love it. On the page behind the signature, I have a small vintage French envelope, and I've just tucked some a scrap of vintage lace on top of it, and it is a little pocket that, and it has nothing in it. And then this is a flip. It flips out so you can do what you like on the back. And inside the envelope I have just tucked in this antique book page, French. The envelope is from France also, or at least the address is France. And then here we have some more of that antique French book page. And then on the back side I just folded up the book page and made a little pocket and added another one of Heather's tags. And then this tag is embossed handmade paper from Heather at Rosehill Cottage Paper. Her handmade papers are gorgeous, and I was so happy that I finally scored some because it goes fast and I'm slow. So I've tucked this into the pocket, and then more of that of my dyed grungy paper, and that's a little flip out. Let's get more in frame. There we go. Some more of that flower book page, and I just added one of the Tim Holtz tiny clips on that because what we have here is another little tuck. Again, I've not glued the edges. I've added a strip of fabric scrap onto it. This is from Heather at Ruby and Pearl's Flower Lady collection, Flower Sellers collection, excuse me. Some craft. Oh, this is some gridded vintage paper on the back. I've had that for a while. And then this is just a little bag, a little paper bag, and I've tucked that in there. I just thought the colors went with it, and it's got flowers on it, and I tucked it in here with this Flower Selling Ladies. Here's the other half of that invoice. On this embossed page right here, I had said it was some embossed cardstock, but I was wrong. This is another piece of Heather's embossed paper, handmade paper. So my apologies on that. This is the other half of that Italian antique page. And then we've got just a little tuck up here in the corner. And then just a nice image to play with. Over here on this page, I did glue the, I can't, too much in my hands. I did glue the edges of this little fold over, and I've added some more vintage lace to the edge, and then just a couple of journaling cards. I like that one like that. Just some paper on this to strengthen some fabric that I've glued on here to strengthen the seam. This is some more of that. Okay, it's Godey's Ladies Book and Magazine 1800s. That's what that magazine page is. And I've just folded that over. You do whatever you want with it. Make a flip, make a pocket. Some more lined paper. Can you see the lines on that? And then here I've just added some more vintage crocheted lace. Whoops. And on this side, I just threaded some seam binding through it and then attached that to the page. French book page, tea-stained paper. There's the other half of the invoice. There's the front of it. French book page, sheet music, 1965. That piece that I said was 50s or 60s, 1965. And the telegraph, I said I thought it was 40s. I believe it's 1934. And then here's the other half of that brown paper bag. I created, I just did a simple collage of images, added a typed word, and the back's ready to write on. So I just tucked that inside there. And then the back. And I've added another fabric and lace pocket. This is the same fabric that I used on the front fabric. It's just that pink, I don't know what it is, that pink I don't know what it is fabric. And some vintage lace. This again is a book page that I printed this image on, and then I just added some not collage, some embossed paper. And then inside I tucked a tag that I collaged. Just kind of wanted it a little grungy old looking. And then I added a little This is from a stenographer's study book. And I tucked that in the pocket. And I did add some lace on the back. It's between the back paper and the cover. And I forgot to mention that I did the same on the front. Just added that strip of lace. So I've got it on the front and I've got it on the back. So that is this sweet little journal. I hope you enjoyed it. It gave me a lot of trouble. This cover gave me a lot of trouble when I was creating it, but I persevered, and the fourth time, not the third time, but the fourth time seemed to be the charm on something I was happy with on this cover. So the fourth time I threatened it. I said, if I don't like you now, I'm putting you up on a shelf and I'll come back to you at another time. But this one worked. So I'm calling her my stubborn little minx. All right, guys. Thanks for sticking with me, and I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.